welcome to Let's Talk with Lakshmee, a show about us, our people, our community, our culture, our experiences. Rooplal is a name synonymous with entertainment at its highest form of quality. When you think of Rooplal, you'll think about his mesmerizing voice and his charismatic personality, a personality which captures hearts wherever he goes. His versatility is second to none. Today on Let's Talk with Lakshmee, we're very privileged to interview a man of great dedication and great hard work. His dedication, commitment, and hard work has earned him numerous music awards and titles, the most notable being the Chutney Soca Monarch. Rooplal has not won this once, he has not won it twice, but maybe he can tell us today how many times he's actually won it. So Rooplal, thank you so much for coming on to Let's Talk with Lakshmee. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you very much for having me.
Well, it's indeed a pleasure to have you here. But before we get started, answer the question. How many times have you won the Chutney Soca Monarch?
I've actually won Chutney Soca Monarch on 6 occasions.
6 occasions. That's amazing. I could imagine the hard work and dedication that goes behind that.
I think more than anything, more than hard work and dedication, there has to be a certain level of deep, passionate love for doing it.
Passionate love? Okay.
Yes, you have to be passionate about it. And you know, music is I always look at music as my devotion.
Very nice.
Music is it's my form of worship.
It's beautiful.
It's my discussion. It's my communication with the higher power.
That description that you have for music and your art is indeed beautiful.
Thank you very much.
Could you tell me a little bit about your background? I mean, I know you're from Trinidad. Tell me a little bit about where you're from, what life was growing up as a child.
Well, I grew up in an agricultural community. It's a place called Claxton Bay in Trinidad. It's central south of Trinidad, like almost in the middle of the country. And very humble beginnings, very humble parents. You know, I wouldn't say poor, but humble. You know, I know what the struggle is like to survive, and you know, my parents were not well off and stuff like that. But my parents are very, very talented. My father is one of the foremost classical singers in Trinidad and Tobago. And in Guyana we call it tan singing.
Tan singing.
Yes.
Indian classical singing.
That's right. And in Trinidad we call it classical singing. And he's an excellent singer. His voice is absolutely beautiful.
Did you learn from your father?
Absolutely. That's my first teacher.
Okay.
And my mother is also quite versatile. She plays the dhola. She sings. She's one of those really, really talented, sweet little ladies.
Wonderful. Do you have siblings, Rooplal?
Yeah, I have 6 sisters and 3 brothers.
Wow.
And
big family.
yeah, it's a big family.
So tell me, growing up as a child with 6 sisters, 3 brothers, yourself, parents that are musically inclined, what was maybe a Saturday or a Sunday evening at your home?
There wasn't much to do.
Okay.
But there was always music.
Always music.
Always music the entire day, because all my sisters, brothers, everybody sing some point or the other, some form or the other. Everybody sings. So there's always music.
So did you guys go to temple?
Yeah,
okay.
Temple is still is a very major part of our lives. You know, like many times I would hear a lot of artists would say, well, I have come from the temple, but I am still there at the temple. I haven't gone anywhere.
And that's so true. I mean, you're here visiting in New York City. I know that you've been doing functions here, as well as you just did a wonderful fundraising event for the Ganesh Shiva Mandir in New Jersey.
I would like to thank everyone who came out. It was an absolutely magnificent experience, beautiful experience. And it was so nice to see People can have fun in such a simple, nice, loving kind of environment.
I agree. There were hundreds of people there. I myself came. You did a fantastic job, of
Thank
course.
you very much.
But what I loved was the crowd. They were so into you, and they just wanted more. I know you were scheduled for about 45 minutes to an hour, but I think you probably did over 2 hours there. I'm
I
sure.
think we did about 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours.
Yeah.
And the crowd still wanted more.
Well, I feel good about it that, one of the things is that when you can actually do something and people can enjoy what you do, that's the greatest reward ever. When people can enjoy what you have to offer.
Enjoy you and your talents, yeah. So let's talk about a little bit about your musical training. I know you said mom and dad sang at home. The house was always a musical home.
Always music, yeah.
What other training did you receive?
I did very little training with a guy called Mangal Patisar. Mangal Patisar and I are really, really good friends. But he studied in India for a number of years. He studied the sitar.
Okay.
He's not necessarily a vocalist, but he knows, how to, like the techniques in singing and stuff like that. So I learned some stuff from him, but I have been primarily self-taught.
Okay.
And of course I think it runs in the blood, from my parents.
One thing I enjoyed about your music is the rags. When you sing like the Sarigama. And I really enjoyed that. I mean, you also did a lot of the Bollywood music. And so I'm thinking, are you watching the Indian movies and then learning from them? You sang one of Rahat Fateh Ali Khan's songs, and it was amazing. You sounded just like him.
Thank you very much. I take that as such a compliment because he's one of my favorite singers. I am not necessarily a lover of Indian movies, but within recent times, there are a lot of beautiful music coming out of the Bollywood industry, and the music has a lot of soul in it, and so I pay more attention to the music rather than the movie, because I find I have great difficulty in sitting down for 2.5 hours, 3 hours looking at a movie, So I'm not necessarily a lover of Indian movies, and I don't mean to offend anyone, right? But it's just me. If I have to sit down to look at an Indian movie, I'll take about 3-4 days to look at one movie.
To look at one movie.
I can't sit still for too long.
Oh boy. So tell me about when you're rehearsing. Let's say you're going to rehearse for a show or a program or a competition. What type of hours do you put into this?
Rehearsals never stop. Rehearsal is a 24-hour kind of thing, because no matter what you do as an artist, you're in the shower, you're rehearsing, you're walking, you're driving. It never stops, because there's always something going on in your head, musically.
So when I say the word music, what comes to mind?
Rhythm, beauty. We West Indians, we are full of music. The way we talk, the way we walk, the way we laugh, the way we eat. Everything we do is rhythmic as West Indian people, which is why we are considered to be the happiest people on the face of the earth. We're very happy people, and we do happy music.
Yeah, you're speaking of happiness and happy people and singing and speaking, and it kind of reminded me of the comedian Russell Peters. He once had done a segment on Trinidad and Tobago, and he mentioned in Trinidad that the people are so happy, and everything that they do, it's always a song. It's like they're so happy, so they're walking down the road, they're singing and they're happy. They're taking the bus, they're singing, they're happy. They're in the shower, they're singing, they're happy. So you kind of just brought me back to that segment with Russell Peters, that singing makes you happy, people are happy, Indian people in general are happy.
Well, the thing is, I cannot tell you a West Indian, and I say West Indian in a broad sense, includes Trinidadians, Guyanese, everybody, West Indian. Um, we, I think music is such an integral part of our lives, our daily lives. You ask any West Indian about music, music plays a great, great importance in their existence. So, and music definitely makes you happy.
Definitely.
It makes you happy no matter what mood you are in. You listen to good music. And it lifts your spirits.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Now, Rooplal Ji, growing up, was there a artist that inspired you growing up?
My father would have been my biggest inspiration growing up. Locally, I cannot point any particular artist because there are so many. And I would have learned something from as many artists because there's always something to learn from somebody. The ghazal singers and Bollywood stuff, Manna Dey, unfortunately he has gone to the great beyond. He's always had his music has had a great influence on my life. People like Jagjit Singh, Mehdi Hassan. I've always had great admiration for those singers, because to me they sing with heart and soul, and you can actually feel the music when they sing.
Now, speaking of feeling the music, do you understand everything you sing? Do you
No.
understand Hindi?
No, I do a little bit.
Okay.
But I'm not very versed with the language.
Now, as an artist, you used interesting words that you feel this, but yet you don't know word for word what you're singing, what the music exactly is. Where do you think that feeling is coming from? I mean, it's in the blood, it's in the veins. Your parents.
I was having a discussion with a guy yesterday evening. He's from India. And we were talking about us West Indians. Hindi is not necessarily our first language.
Right.
But historically, the whole idea of the parents coming from India and that whole thing in the blood, as you mentioned just now, it's there.
Right.
It's there, but over the passage of time, we were not necessarily taught the language, because, like, for example, my great grandparents and my grandparents, to a lesser extent, would have spoken Hindi, but not the pure form of Hindi. It would have been like Bhojpuri, which is like a broken up, it's like a dialect. And then with the passage of time, that was not necessarily handed down to us.
Right.
But the music remained.
Yeah.
The music remained. So it's in the blood, but it's not necessarily our first language.
Now, do you know where your forefathers are from in India?
I believe it's Uttar Pradesh.
Okay.
Yeah. And most of our foreparents would have come from there.
Yes,
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, it's great. This is our 175th year anniversary for Indians going to Guyana. And I'm not quite sure the amount of years in Trinidad. It's around
about the same, yeah.
But when you think about how many years have passed, but yet Indo-Caribbeans, West Indians, have upheld the culture and the religion and the music like yourself.
It's an absolutely beautiful culture. And I'm so happy that you touched on that culture. We have a culture. And I just want to touch on the point very quickly that unfortunately, we've been losing that culture because of so many influences. It's a fight to actually keep what is yours. And when I say what is ours, I'm talking in a very broad sense. Our food, our clothes, the way we dress, the way we speak, or religion. Everything is culture. And I'm afraid that somewhere along the line, we are losing some of it.
I agree.
Yeah.
Now, you're visiting here from Trinidad.
Mm-hmm.
You recently went, like I said, to New Jersey a couple weeks back for the fundraiser. When you went there, one thing I noticed that you mentioned was this song might be a little too old for you guys. You guys may not know this, but then boom, everybody was singing, everybody was clapping, people wanted to get up and dance.
Yeah.
How did you feel? I mean, knowing that yes, our culture is maybe dying or being lost in some homes.
Yeah.
How did you feel going to this town in New Jersey and seeing so many people knowing these songs that you might have thought that they didn't know?
I was actually, I was just playing with them.
Okay.
Because I know that, when you leave Trinidad or Guyana, Jamaica, and you go to a foreign country, it's like you become closer to your religion and your food and your culture to a point.
You want to hold on to it.
Because home, you take it for granted.
Mm-hmm.
But when you go to a foreign country, you realize that it takes a lot of work to actually keep it together. And people who would have migrated, in my mind, they know more about the music. They know about everything cultural more than the people who actually live in Trinidad and Guyana and wherever. So it's amazing how things work. That when there's a saying that you don't miss the water till the well run dry. That's a typical example.
Yeah.
That when you leave your country and you go abroad, you realize that, hey, wait a minute, this is mine, and this is something to identify with.
Mm-hmm.
Because in order to be accepted in someone else's country, it takes some doing. But if you actually amongst your own country folk, you can make something work because you understand the same language, you sing the same song, you eat the same food, you wear the same clothes.
Definitely.
So it's easier.
Yeah, I agree. Speaking of different countries, I know you've traveled to several different countries. Where are some places that you've traveled, you've performed?
One of my most interesting experience as an artist was performing in a place called Martinique.
Where is that?
Martinique is a French country, very small country, somewhere in the Caribbean. I'm not sure if it's considered a Caribbean country, but it's a French-speaking country. And
there are Indo-Caribbeans there?
Few.
Okay.
Few. But what was amazing was performing. We were doing the sound check in an open field because the concert was in a savanna. And during the sound check, there were about 1,500 people just listening to the sound check.
Oh boy.
And the sound engineer, was in this little room, and he knew nothing about Indian music. Nothing. But it was amazing how this guy was able to know exactly what we needed and how to do the mixes and so on. And people just stood there, and during the sound check, they were applauding. You understand?
Well, there's a saying, music is a universal language.
It's the only true universal language. The other thing that was interesting was there were some non-Indians who were pundits.
Oh.
Hinduism is actually observed in Martinique in a big way.
Nice.
I know Pandit Patrick, who is a non-Indian, and it's amazing to see how they do puja and how they sing bhajans and play the harmonium and stuff. Really, really interesting.
Is it similar? I'm assuming it's similar to the way we do puja?
Very much so. There are puja stores, and where you can go to the puja store and purchase all your material and so on. That was a very interesting experience. Another experience is performing in India.
Okay.
Performing in India, when it's like you are going to the mecca of music, and when they look at you initially, they pay you no mind, because you are one of us. But when you speak, then they want to know, well, who are you? Where you come from.
Yeah.
And then you have to start to explain now the history of, and it's amazing how music really is appreciated anywhere in the world. And when you perform for them, and you perform West Indian music, there's such the response is absolutely beautiful. So that was another really touching experience.
What was your favorite performance and why?
This may not be the answer that you expect.
Okay.
But my favorite performance was at a wake.
And why?
I went to this wake in Trinidad.
Okay.
And people were seated, about 75 people, small crowd. And I was singing, and this elderly lady, after everything was done, this elderly lady, she came up to me and she said, "Son, I want to tell you something." So she said, you touched my heart.
Aww.
She looks like she was probably in her 80s.
Okay.
And she said, you brought tears to my eyes, not because of the occasion there, but she said there's something about your voice that was magical. And she said, I felt it from my heart. And to me, that was probably my most touching experience as an entertainer. And it's such a simple situation, but yet it was so profound.
That's true. Do you know she was related to the deceased?
I can't say. I never saw her after that. I never saw her before. I never saw her after that.
No.
But just the fact that someone can tell you that your voice touched my heart, to me that's the greatest compliment you could ever get.
Well, you're known to, steal hearts wherever you go, as we said earlier. I mean, it's very true. I mean, I saw it myself, like I said, a few weeks ago at the Ganesh Shiva Mandir fundraiser.
Thank you very much.
Tell me, becoming a superstar, which you are.
I that's debatable.
We're gonna call you are our superstar. So, as your rise to becoming the superstar that you are, tell me, what was some of the obstacles that you faced?
Firstly, I just like to make it abundantly clear, I am no superstar. I am trying like everybody else and just having fun with the music, which is what I do. I have fun with the music. The only true superstar I really know is Michael Jackson. I am no superstar. The day I would consider myself a superstar is when I could go perform and 1 million people shouting and screaming and crying and things.
But I'm sure you probably touched that amount of people with the amount of music that you've sang and shows that you've performed at throughout the years.
But anyhow, that superstar thing, okay, fine. What was the question you asked
What
again?
was the biggest obstacle that you faced while...
As an entertainer, that life is full of obstacles. Okay. It never stops. Because there's always someone who thinks that you should not be doing what you're doing. If they cannot do it. But at the end of the day, you cannot give up. You have to be determined. So it takes a lot of determination, it takes heart, it takes soul, it takes absolute love for the music, it takes absolute love for people, and I think you can get through as an entertainer. It's hard work. It's hard work. Now, unfortunately, the music has become so watered down that anybody can sing. Technology is actually, you go into a studio and anybody's singing. But what the true test as an artist is when you go on stage to perform live. That's where the test comes, because then you have no technology to EQ your voice and stuff like that.
It's so true. I mean, I remember going to a live concert, and I won't mention the artist, but I was shocked. I couldn't even listen. I was like, is that really him? Like, why does he sound like that? And then people explained that, you know.
But you know, the good thing is that I admire anyone who is willing to try. I admire anyone who is willing to make the effort. Because you love it so much that you are prepared to embarrass yourself just to do it. To me, that takes a lot of heart. And I admire anyone. Yes, some people have more ability than others. Some people were born gifted. Some people take it upon themselves to go and study and learn to do it. And there are others who would do it just with heart and soul. And you have to respect those people. That you love it so much that people, you go and you sing and people laugh at you. Because really and truly, you're not a singer. But because you love it, and I have utmost respect for those who try. You know?
So, how many songs, well, first of all, do you write your own music?
Not all of it.
Okay.
I write a lot of my own, like the Chutney Soca stuff. But there's so many other people who have written songs for me. I've gotten a lot of songs from my mother, from my father, from different artists.
And they mostly write, your parents, would they mostly write the Indian classical or?
Indian songs, yeah. A lot of the soca chutney stuff, like with the English lyrics and so on, I would have done most of them. There's some Calypsonians who would have written for me as well. There's so many people involved in music, and they're very willing to give you what they have and to lend you what they have. And somebody would call you and say, hey, listen, I have a song. You know, and it's a beautiful world. It's a nice place. People just need to understand how to live and survive and exist with each other. That's it. You know.
Do you have a favorite genre of music?
I love bhajans.
कभी ना बिसरू राम को चाहे दुनिया बिसरी जाए दुनिया बिसरी जाए सब अर्पण उस नाम को भव सागर पार लगाए दुनिया बिसरी जाए दुनिया बिसरी जाए
I love bhajans. If I could give up everything else to do that, I will do that.
Do you feel it brings you closer to God, or?
Not
Why
necessarily. I just love it because, to me, there's divinity in bhajans. There's power. there's a it's a discussion with God, and in these trying times, you know, you need to have a lot of discussions.
Of course, I agree.
But I love Geets and Ghazals. I love Chutney. I love Chutney music. But if I have to choose one particular type of music to do, I would do bhajans. I just love it.
And how many songs have you recorded?
Oh, lots. Lots. I don't know, but lots.
That many, okay.
Yeah, lots of songs.
Elegant Floral Design. We can help you beautify your event. No occasion is too big or too small. We specialize in floral decor and party planning for every event. Please call 718-322-9786. Please use promo code Lakshmee for a discount.
What was your first hit?
My first Chutney Soca hit
Okay.
would have been a song called Aja Aja.
ओ आजा 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 ओ प्यारी दुल्हनिया तोहे कलकत्ता घुमाएबो तोहे कलकत्ता घुमाएबो ओ जा तैयार हो जल्दी सजनिया तोहे कलकत्ता घुमाएबो तोहे कलकत्ता घुमाएबो ओ आजा आजा ओ प्यारी दुल्हनिया तोहे कलकत्ता घुमाएबो तोहे कलकत्ता घुमाएबो
That was actually the first hit, and then the other one that was
Do you know what year that was?
that was in I think that would have been in 1999,
Okay.
and then in 2000 I would call it somewhat of a mega hit. That was a song called Sweet Dullahin.
We want to be medulla hai. She want to be medulla hai. She want to be medulla hai. She want to be medulla hai. ये सुंदर लड़की, she want to marry me. She want to be medulla hai. ये सुंदर लड़की, ये सुंदर लड़की, ये सुंदर लड़की. Tell me she want to marry me. She want to be medulla hai. 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 ये सुंदर लड़की, tell me she want to marry me. She want to be medulla hai. ये सुंदर लड़की, tell me she want to marry me. She want to be medulla hai.
So that was actually a big song, and then after that we've had quite a few after that.
Tell me about some of the awards that you've won.
Well, apart from Chutney Soca Monarch,
6 times.
6 times, we've done national awards, local classical singing, and it's a good experience. In 2001 thereabouts, there was the National Independence Classical Singing Competition, and I wasn't really a classical singer as such,
Okay.
but I grew up in the home where classical singing was primarily the type of music, and you have all these top classical singers like all the Jamil Hussains and the Sambo Drams and you name it, and I participated in the competition just for fun.
Okay.
But I was sending out little friendly threats and advice.
You were receiving them.
No, I was sending them out.
You were sending them.
Out in all fun, and I was saying that, listen, I am going to win this competition.
Oh.
Right?
Okay.
And and I was telling them, you all better come good. you know, and I mean,
Competition.
yeah, and I entered for fun.
For fun, okay.
And I ended up, when they started to call the placings in the competition, I wasn't hearing my name. So I said, well, it's either I come last or I came first.
Okay.
Because I'm not hearing my name.
Uh-huh.
And they kept calling, but when they reached second place, when they called second place, and then the crowd started to clap, and then they started to call my name. Because all the big guns would have gotten their places
Already.
before me.
Uh-huh.
And then the crowd started to call my name and they started to applaud. I won that competition.
Awesome.
That was a beautiful experience.
What song was that?
It was actually local classical singing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even remember what song it was.
Okay.
We had to do 3 songs. And I learned 3 songs. And I learned it well, I guess. And we went and we won that competition amongst all these recognized classical singers. That was a shock, but it was fun.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
That's amazing. So, you won this Indian classical competition.
Mm-hmm.
Now, back then, when you thought of classical music, or I should say, most people who listen to classical music today, they don't know the difference with between if it's like Atan or Bhojpuri. Like they don't know the style.
Mm-hmm.
So most people would categorize it as chutney, right? The sound, just by the sound of the drums. The common person who doesn't know about music may call it chutney.
Mm-hmm.
So thinking of that music with the drumming and the dantal sound and the harmonium, the typical chutney sound as we would call it.
Yeah.
Then to go into a competition called the Chutney Soca. Now, what exactly is, Chutney Soca?
Okay. First, the word chutney, as we understand it, is a spicy condiment. And that phrase was coined many, many years ago by a guy called Moeen Muhammad.
Okay.
There was some persons recording, and he said this thing hot like chutney, and that is where that word was coined. And when you look at the elements of chutney, it's rhythmic, it's spicy, it's hot, it's enjoyable, it's happy music, it's happy rhythm.
Yeah.
And that's how the phrase was coined, right? Or the word chutney was coined. Chutney is not necessarily a type of music. It's really folk music that we add the West Indian rhythm to. And one of the unfortunate things is that the historical background of that thing we call chutney music is not well known.
No.
That everybody has a different concept and a different view of what chutney music is. But there's no music called chutney music. It's something that happened by accident pretty much.
Do you think the classical, Indian classical form of music is a dying art?
Indian classical meaning like the ragas and so on?
Like the...
Or the tan singing?
The tan singing.
Yeah, I think it is. But surprisingly, I've seen, especially down in New Jersey,
there's a rise of it.
and I'm pleasantly surprised. You know, I'm so happy that you have these young boys who are actually in love with this music.
Yeah.
And there is hope. There is a lot of hope for it. In Trinidad, there's also a lot of young people who are actually getting involved in it. So even though it may have been a dying art form, I think it's being revived. And it's being revived by the young people, which is so beautiful. You know, Chutney Soca.
Yes.
Chutney Soca is the collaboration of the chutney rhythm that comes from the dholak and the soca beat. Right? And it came about only because of the advent of the, long ago, there wasn't anything like drum machines and stuff where you actually program all this, or nothing like that, but there were drum kits. And so they used to play this drum kit and so on. But then with the advent of technology, as things improved, the combination of the spicy rhythm of the dholak, which we now call chutney, collaborated with the soca rhythm. And then you have the additions of the horns, the brass, and the all the everything that technology has to offer to lift the music and to richen it and to add additional flavors and so on. That's how the Chutney Soca came about.
2 months ago, after my mother's hospitalization, the doctors wanted to put her in hospice. And I'm like, they deemed her terminal. And I saw Mr. Thakur, I think the founder, on TV, and he was advertising this Indian community in Kings Harbor. It's a great Indian community where my mother feels at home, and she expresses her happiness to me whenever I come.
I know when I come, I feel happy. I stay a couple days and I see everybody, and I'm so happy.
I brought my mother here like a month and a half ago, and I haven't regretted my decision. It's one of the best decisions I've made for my mother. It's a home away from home.
How do you feel about the evolution from
1999 when you first won, you said was your first?
2000.
2000 was your first win, to 2013 with the Chutney Soca Monarch.
I think that, there's a saying that the more things change, the more it remains the same. The evolution of chutney music, I think, has actually destroyed what we know as chutney music. Lyrically, musically, because the music, it's bankrupt. The music now is bankrupt of lyrics. The lyrics are actually baseless. They have no story. It's not edifying. It's not the kind of lyrics that sensible people would want to listen to. And it's lyrics that comes from a certain level of intelligence, which doesn't say much for our artists. I know I probably will get a lot of licks for this, but sometimes things need to be said. And I am accustomed to taking licks because of my outspoken, but I am not attacking anyone. I'm saying that we need to pay attention and we need to focus on the lyrical content of the songs.
I mean, it's extremely important because Chutney Soca Monarch, right? It's become so popular. It's one of the biggest competitions in the West Indies. You have people from all around the world listening. They're logging in now. It's online, and they're watching this. And the songs should really portray a positive message.
Well, okay, there's a time and place for everything, right? But I believe that for a competition, it's not a performance in a club. As a club crowd. Competition is what propels the artists to better and greater things. And if the world is looking on and they're saying, but the lyrics are so cheap, there's no music, there's no creativity, which is why I believe that the music is dying. Crowds, like people are not patronizing shows anymore.
True.
People are not going to shows anymore because they're fed up with the same thing over and over and over. And people
We
are
say it
just
all the time here.
people are just fed up because
Yeah.
look, if I have to go to a show and listen to people telling me that my culture is only rum and my culture is only domestic violence and my culture, because they talk about we, and when I say we, I'm talking about men of East Indian origin, and they think that we are a set of wife beaters and alcoholics. It does not reflect well on us as a people. It doesn't reflect well on us as a society. That rich culture that was brought here by our foreparents, it's an insult to them. So I have made 2008 was the last year when I competed.
Okay.
And I made a conscious decision to not compete because the way the music changed. And when it changed, it destroyed the beauty of the music that we knew. But it's coming back.
It's coming back.
It's coming back
So
slowly.
with
but
it coming
surely.
back, do you think you would ever compete again?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I like competing.
And you're gonna send those messages. You better come good again, right?
Yeah, better. I think I like competing
Okay.
because it is the adrenaline and the preparation and the excitement and the anticipation in that one night of 5 minutes. The 5 minutes of glory where you go on that stage and that stage is yours. Those who would have known my productions before, I've invested heavily in my productions because I've always wanted my presentations and my entire performance to be something that would be remembered. When you know that I'm actually coming on stage, that anticipation should start to build
up.
and that's what usually happens.
ढोलक को ताल से हो गए दीवाना, मन मेरा हो गए बिहार। बाजला बाजेला भाई ढोलक बजाए, बाजला बाजेला भाई ढोलक बजाए, अरे दम 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 बाजेला ढोलक बजाए, अरे दम 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 बाजेला ढोलक बजाए, बाजला बाजेला भाई ढोलक बजाए, बाजला बाजेला भाई ढोलक बजाए, अरे दम 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 बाजेला ढोलक बजाए, अरे दम 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 बाजेला ढोलक बजाए।
Competition night. As a matter of fact, like 2 weeks before the competition, I pay no attention to nobody. I focus on me and my music. I don't listen to the radio. I don't listen to nobody's song. I don't have discussions with anybody about what you're doing and what you're not doing because that's not my business. My business is me. It may sound selfish, but it's not selfish. It's the art of competing and preparing yourself for competition. And many people would ask me, well, how do you do it?
Mm-hmm.
It's not a secret. Artists would ask me, how do you do it? I don't pay attention to you.
Focused.
I tell them, I said, I do not pay attention to you. And if they ask my advice, I said, don't pay attention to me.
Right.
Because if you pay attention to me, then you actually not
Always
paying attention to you.
yourself.
And you're losing the effort that you would
focus,
pay
yeah.
on yourself. You actually helping me because you are
You're
not paying the
worried.
attention on yourself.
Yeah.
So my advice to them was don't look at me,
Mm-hmm.
because you better focus on yourself and do what you're doing. They couldn't understand that.
Yeah. So while
You know?
your preparations, is there anyone that helps you?
Oh yeah, my team.
Your team. Tell me about this
I have a
team.
huge team. I have a team of about 25 or 30 people.
Oh wow. Okay.
And they do everything for me. I don't have to do anything. My focus is to prepare myself,
Music.
my frame of mind, focus on my music, focus on recreating my music for competition. Because the songs that you would hear on air would hardly ever be what I am doing on stage. There's always recreation on stage. And that is always the element of surprise. And
Well, I
then-
can't wait to see you back on a big stage.
And then with the production team, my music is always created. It's always created for the competition. So if I know that okay, I am going to enter, and I'm actually giving out hints here. It's no secret because I feel that everybody should go and give 110%. It shouldn't be about me. It should be about all of us going out there and giving 110% because the world is looking at us. I don't want the world to look at me. I want the world to look at us. And when you look at us, it means that we have something to offer. I don't want to be the only one who have something to offer. I want all of us to offer something to the world. Because it is important that we have that kind of mindset.
Right.
It's the only way we would go forward.
And it's so wonderful, it's so humble that you're saying that you're not only thinking of yourself, but you're thinking about West Indians on the whole.
Yeah.
You're thinking of everyone. You want everyone to be on a higher platform, to be seen on a larger level. And I mean, we're seeing this, right? I mean,
Yeah.
there are a lot of West Indian artists out there hitting it really big. I mean, look at
Yeah.
Rihanna, look at Marshall Montano.
Yeah.
I mean, look at these West Indian artists that have accomplished. They
Yeah.
have made it in the world. When we look at them, and Ruplalji, when you think about a West Indian artist, an Indo-Caribbean artist, do you think an Indo-Caribbean artist can make a living in entertainment?
You can, but you really have to be on top of your game.
How difficult is it?
Absolutely difficult. And then, because of the downturn in the world economy, things have become difficult. And then with the destruction of the music, people are no longer going to shows. And if people are not coming to the shows, then there's no work for us.
Right.
And we are pretty much our own worst enemies because we have, and I'm saying we, because maybe I should take some responsibility for it as well. Because after 2008, I actually took a break from Chutney music because I was so disappointed with what was happening. Looking at something.
When you say you're disappointed, are you talking about the level of
the level
Chutney
of the music, yeah. Because I was, to a point, I was ashamed to even identify with it. And
From what I know of your music, your message is always positive. You always have positive lyrics, positive messages. And your music, like you said, you before when preparing for the Chutney Soca
Yeah.
Monarch or preparing for a competition, you thought of yourself. But now you're saying that what others were doing really bothered you. So
Well-
it's like what you said, you paid attention to them and now they messed you up. Right?
well, the thing is, for competition purposes, I mean, like I said, 2 weeks before the competition, I'm not paying attention because that's a distraction. It's a distraction. But one of the problems is that the music has become very, very watered down now where anybody could sing.
Right.
And a promoter wouldn't think twice because every person who thinks that he wants to sing, he would go and perform on a stage. As long as he could get on that stage, he wants to go. whether he's compensated or not, he wants to go. And that has sort of destroyed the industry.
It has.
Right? And when one of our biggest problems is the acceptance of mediocrity as the norm. The acceptance
I'm
of
very happy you bring this
the
up.
acceptance of mediocrity as the norm, because we have lost standards. We have no standards anymore.
They'll just put anybody on a stage.
Anybody going on a stage and think that I can perform and I can sing,
I'm an artist.
and you know, nobody really taking the time to focus on, let's do this thing the right way.
Right.
And those who are actually trying to do it the right way and making, working really hard, are getting, the fight down is so much. And there's room, there's space for everybody.
Would you ever think of putting on a concert to the level of what you want to see on stage?
I have done it before, several times before, successful concerts. But then because of my schedule and because of but from next year, that's going to start to happen again.
You're going to come back again.
Absolutely.
You're not going to be distracted with these other people who are singing songs that you don't agree with.
Well, like I said, listen, I am not knocking anyone. But I think it's important to have these discussions to allow people the opportunity to see the other side. Because maybe no one is having these discussions. So people are just taking it for granted that all is well. But all is not well. If you would recall years gone by when Queens in particular was buzzing with activity. There were shows and people having fun, people going to the artists busy. Everybody busy because things are happening. Because there was great music. But now you throw a show and if you have 200 people, you have plenty people.
That's pretty sad.
And we are the cause of it. Because we are so
lowered our standards.
Focused on making the buck that we are passing the buck. Literally passing the buck. We're giving away the buck. We're giving away 10 and looking to make 1. So, like I say, we are our own worst enemy.
That's true.
And the industry is suffering as a consequence.
It's true. And especially I love the fact that you brought up that some artists will actually perform at no cost.
Listen, there are artists who would sell their soul to be on a stage. I'm telling you. It has gotten so bad that there are artists, if I say, okay, if I tell a promoter, I'll charge $5 for a performance, another artist will go and say, and the promoters themselves are so unscrupulous, some of them. They will tell John Brown, but Raj charging $3. And the other artist will say, well, here what I will charge you $2
instead.
That's how it's going. And it has killed the industry to the point where promoters themselves, if you charge a fee, they think that is so much money. So I say, listen, it's either you pay me what I want or leave me alone.
Right.
Leave me alone. I am surviving.
And I feel, a lot more artists should be like that, because then the promoters will see they're not getting the people to come to the show.
True artists, those who are true to the art form will be like that. But those who just in it for the name and the fame and the 2 minutes of glory. That is what the industry has become. 2 minutes of glory. And you know what's funny? What's funny is that we think that we are so good. But we are nothing. When you listen to true artists, listen to true artists. Listen to an artist who can actually command a crowd of 300,000 people. We just having fun, and we think that we want to own this and control that, and we want to be the only people who run things, and we feel that we are nothing.
Right.
And the day we realize that we are nothing,
Too late.
things are going to start to prosper. But because we think that we are,
going to happen.
it could happen. Because we think that we all are that,
Yeah.
because we think we all are that, nothing is happening.
Speaking of someone who is all of that, if you can collaborate with someone in Bollywood right now, who would that be?
I have not given that a lot of thought, you know. There's so many people.
So many.
Yeah, there's so many.
Give me one name.
I'll tell you the people who I love.
Okay.
On top of the list is Rahat Fateh Ali Khan.
Amazing artist. We've had him on the show.
There's another guy called Roop Kumar Rathod.
Okay.
And a lot of people think that that my voice sounds a lot similar to his. I take that as a real compliment. You understand?
Of course.
I take that as a real compliment. Sonu Nigam. There's a guy called Arjit Singh, as a new guy on the block. Beautiful. There are quite a number of wonderful people, and I could do something with any of them.
What about a female artist?
Shreya Ghoshal.
Master.
Shreya Ghoshal. She's to me she's like an angel walking this earth. Yeah, absolutely beautiful. When you listen to her voice is angelic. She has that. She could send you in a trance.
Nice.
And there's another lady called Risha Sharma.
Not familiar.
It's amazing. But there's so many.
So many.
There's so many. But the person that comes to mind is Shreya Ghoshal.
Okay.
Yeah, she's.
I believe she was in Trinidad.
Yeah, she was.
Recently,
She
right?
was. I think it was last year sometime. Yeah.
So, to aspiring young artists out there, what advice would you give to them for their musical career?
If you know, the first thing you have to do is be honest to yourself.
Okay.
You have to admit to yourself, can I sing or can't I sing? And if you know that you can't sing, go and learn. You may have a nice voice, but you may not necessarily have control over your voice. There are lots of people with nice voices, but they don't have control over it. And if you know that you cannot sing, learn.
Okay.
And if you could sing, or if you feel you could sing, learn to become better. Because some of us feel that we could sing, but really and truly we can't.
But
look, I just
do you
have
believe
fun.
that people can learn though?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Even if you're like 50?
There's no age to stop learning, you know. There's no age to stop learning. When you reach your deathbed, you learn to die. You learn to die.
Right.
That's it. You understand? So the thing is that you, as a young artist, if you love the music, you have to be honest with yourself. And that is where it starts, honesty. Can I do this? And you have to understand too your motivation behind doing what you want to do. And if you are motivated by the wrong reasons, and the wrong reasons are name, fame, and glory. And I didn't say fortune. I said name, fame, and glory. That's the wrong reasons for doing it. And if you have any of those things in mind and you feel that you want to aspire to be an artist, those are the things that should never cross your mind. Because as far as I'm concerned, name and fame and glory really don't belong to us. It does not belong to you all the time. But you know, some of us tend to feel that we are gods and we are God's gift to mankind. And some of us feel that we are better than everybody else. And some of us feel that we are, you know, above everybody else. And the fact is that if you cut my vein, I have never seen name. I've never seen fame. I've never seen a big house. I've never seen a BMW drive out of here. I've never seen that. All I see is blood.
Red blood.
And we are all the same, no matter what, in my mind, no matter what status you hold in your life, nobody is better than anybody else. We are just fortunate to maybe have a little more than somebody else, but that does not make you better. Yeah. And I feel that if you wish to be an artist, you have to be honest with yourself. And honesty starts with your ability or lack of. Do I have the ability or don't I have? Many people look at artists on stage and they say, wow, I wish I could be like that. But it's only a wish.
And some people look at artists on stage and say, oh my God, what are they doing up there?
Come on, stop punishing me. You know, so you have to be honest. It starts with honesty. And you know, one of our biggest downfall as well, as we mentioned earlier, the acceptance of mediocrity as the norm. And you see somebody on stage and you know that person just not cutting it. And then you know, sounds so good. Don't know better. And most times...
Would you do that, or would you say, you know, yeah, I saw your dance. Listen, you should take this person's number, maybe take some classes from them.
I may be a little more diplomatic, right? You know, because artists are very sensitive people. Very, very sensitive.
I'm sorry, I mentioned dance because I used to be a dancer.
They're very sensitive people. And, but come on, there has to be some level of reality in the situation. And you know, 99.9% of the time, when we do a show, especially a show that involves West Indians, 3/4 of the people drunk. And those are the people, when they don't care whether a Monday fall on a Friday, they hear rhythm, they don't care what you say on that stage, you know. But they will come and they will tell you, oh my God, you sound so good. And they don't even understand what they're saying. We have to be real. We have to take all these things into consideration. Who is telling me that I can sing? Who is telling me that I can dance?
Do they know anything? Do they have any experience in the art themselves?
What frame of mind were you when you told me that I can sing? So this is where honesty comes in. You as an artist have to be honest with yourself.
Very good advice.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I can say.
Very good advice. So I have to ask you, what is your favorite song?
My favorite song at this point is a song by
That you've sang.
me.
Yes.
What's my favorite song, boy? I actually don't have a favorite song, you know.
Yeah. What would you say is your most popular song?
I don't know. There's the Yappy guy, Sarah. That song seemed to be quite popular. Everybody seemed to be singing it after so many years. Dolak Bajai.
Can you sing me a line?
Which one?
Gaya
Okay,
Piya.
so
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
and that's actually a very,
Very
beautiful
popular song.
folk song. Beautiful folk song.
It's about Krishna, right?
Yeah, it is. सखी रात शाम सपने में आए ओ दहिया पी गए सारा रा 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 रात शाम सपने में आए रात शाम सपने में आए.
Very nice. Very
Thank
nice.
you very much.
So, question.
Yeah, go ahead, shoot.
How do you stay so young? How do you look so fabulous?
Well, thank you. I've never paid attention. I don't know. And you are actually the first person to tell me that. Tomato choka,
Tomato choka, okay.
baigan and aloo. I think it.
Are
I
you a
think,
vegetarian?
I am vegetarian. Fortunately, I've been vegetarian for all of my life, 25 years.
Nice.
You got that right?
Yeah.
For all of my
25
years, 25 years. Yeah, I've been vegetarian
For 25 years. No, all of your life.
all of my life,
Okay.
25 years.
25 years.
But I think, honestly, the key to good health is water.
Water. You drink a lot of water.
Is the key to good health.
Okay. Well, they say 8 glasses a day. How many are you drinking? Everybody needs
About-
to know this. How much water are you drinking?
But a gallon a day. I drink a lot of water. And I think you need to be in the land of paradise,
Which is?
Trinidad and Tobago.
Trinidad. That's great. Well, I was going to ask you, you're visiting here in New York City. Do you like it here or do you like it in Trinidad?
Actually, I like to consider myself a international citizen.
Okay.
I like it
You
anywhere
like to
in the
travel
world.
anywhere
Yeah,
you
I like
go.
it anywhere in the world. Because I think that people are so wonderful. People are so beautiful. Wherever you go in the world, they're nice people. And there are people who are always willing to help you, and people who are always willing to be there for you, and people who would have helped you and continue to be there. And the world is full of nice people, you know. And every in my mind, every single individual has wonderful qualities. People actually reflect you. What you see in them is what you are yourself. And I've always tried to mirror goodness. Sometimes I fall short. Sometimes I may go crazy, but I've always tried to see goodness in people. And there are lots of good people in the world. There are lots and lots.
Very
And
nice.
the world is full of good people.
So tell me, are you a family man?
Oh yeah, I'm married and I have 2 beautiful daughters who think that they are my mother.
Well, that's what girls do.
Yeah, oh my God! But they take good care of me, and I believe that the key to happiness in the world and bringing that kind of cohesiveness in the world is family. There's nothing as important as family, because when all else fails, family will always be there for you. When people disappoint you, people walk all over you, people accuse you, people tell you all kinds of things, but blood is blood. No matter what, family is the most important element in this world.
Very nice. So tell me, at home,
Mhm.
what's your favorite dish that your wife makes for you?
She's an excellent cook, and sometimes I tell her, I say, you spend too much time in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
She said, well, I have to make sure that, she says, the way to a man's heart is through his belly. So, but that's just joke. I'm just having fun. But strangely enough, my favorite dish is tomatoes, choka, and sada roti. I love that. I could eat that.
I think that's my favorite breakfast dish.
I could eat that.
Saturday morning.
I could eat that morning, noon, and night. But I'm not too much of a food person. I'm not too much of a big eater. I also like, what you all call bora.
Bodhi.
Bori, we call bori, and how you put the aloo inside I love that. I love that. But I really am not too much of a food person. I'm more of a fruit person. I eat a lot of fruits.
What's your favorite fruit?
Grapes. I love grapes.
New York grapes, Trinidad grapes. What kind of grapes?
Well, actually, I have a cousin who is growing grapes in Trinidad.
Okay.
He's been trying for the past 20 years, but recently it has started to grow and bear. Amazing.
And they're sweet.
In Trinidad. I haven't tasted it, but he promised me that when I get home, I'm going to have some.
That's where you'll be going in a few days.
Yeah. So I'm not too much of a big eater.
Okay.
I eat little. I eat little and I want to live long.
Tell me your favorite, one of your favorite things about your girls.
They're miserable.
Uh-oh.
No, but it's sweet too bad. My girls are they're very protective of me. And I think that's the one thing that I could count on them for, that they would always make sure that I'm okay. They're very, very protective.
I could imagine backstage at one of the competitions how your girls might be with you if somebody tries to talk with you.
Actually,
Are they very overprotective?
not really.
Oh, okay.
Because for competition, you would, strangely, night for competition, I'm hardly ever backstage.
Okay.
Like I would be probably in the car, sitting down, listening to music. Not what's happening there. I never pay attention to what is happening on stage. I never pay, and as I said before, I really never pay attention to anybody.
It's anything that's going on.
When is my time to go on stage? Like maybe about half an hour before. Then I go backstage and I get organized and stuff. But they don't. They would come, Daddy, okay? Want some water? You want tea? Your head hurting?
Oh, they're very concerned. Okay.
Yes. So they're very, very, very protective, and I think that's the one thing that I could count on, that they would always make sure that I'm okay.
Wonderful. Tell me, who is your favorite American artist?
My favorite American artist has gone to the great beyond, as Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson, okay.
Now my the person I get the most comedy from is Miley Cyrus. I think she's funny too bad.
Okay. What did you think about her performance?
I think that wasn't a performance. I don't think much of it, because I think that you ought to know your place. You ought to know your time. My girls used to love her in Hannah Montana. And then after that, you can't talk about her with them because they just don't like her anymore. And I think she wasted a good opportunity to really be not necessarily a role model, but somebody that young children could look up to. And I think she wasted that opportunity because she would have been like a goddess in the eyes of these children. So she really wasted a good opportunity to do that.
I agree.
Yeah.
What do you think about Rihanna?
As a West Indian, I'm very happy for her achievements and so on. But for some reason, I've never really paid much attention to her.
Okay.
I'm paying a lot of attention to, in recent times, Tessan.
Okay.
Because I think Tessan is, when you look at her, I think she is going to be an excellent ambassador for the Caribbean. I love her. I think she will go very, very, very far.
What is your favorite Bollywood song?
Bollywood song, there are quite a lot of Bollywood songs. But there's a song that I like a whole lot.
And you have to sing it.
It's a song that I actually did an adaptation for. It's a song from Tujhme Rab ne bana de jodi. It's a Tujhme Rab dikhta hai yara main kya karu Tujhme Rab, and I love it because of the meaning. And,
What does the song mean?
It says that I see God in you. And if somebody is telling you that I see God in you, you could never go wrong. I love it.
Who's your favorite deity?
Ganesh.
Remover of all obstacles.
Yeah. I was actually having a conversation with someone today. And strangely enough, I'm not too much of a religious person. I'm not too much of a praying person. And I have this thing about people. The first word that comes out of the mouth is, well, you know what? God will take care of you. I have a problem with people in an argument or in a conversation. That first word that comes out of the mouth is God. And I tend to believe that people who say God unnecessarily are the people who commit the most crimes. And they use God as a cover. And if you, the Bible said that don't never call my name in vain. And that's what it means, I think. That the minute something happens, you put God in front, and to me that's a cover for the evil that you do.
Interesting.
So I'm not much of a praying person, but I always look at my music as I look at my music as my devotion. I look at my music as my worship. And I like Ganesha, and I like Hanuman. And I like Hanuman because of his humility. A couple of years ago, I went to a mandir to perform, and there's this beautiful mandir in Trinidad called Triveni Mandir. And I was just walking around this mandir, and I looked at this murti of Hanuman, and he was kneeling and bowing. And it occurred to me, how could someone so almighty and someone so powerful be so humble? And that struck me, because there he is kneeling down with his hands clasped And to me, that's the essence of humility. No matter how powerful you are, no matter how great you think you are, but you're not, and we come back to the point, you're not better than anybody else.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, everybody's trying to survive, and everybody's struggling to provide for their families, and everybody's struggling to eat food, put food on the table for their family, and everybody's struggling to put fuel in their car, and everybody's struggling to buy tires for their car, and struggling to send their children to school. Life is a struggle.
It's very true.
You know.
Well, Rooplal, we've learned so much about you. It was indeed a pleasure to have you here at Let's Talk with Lakshmee TV show. I want to thank you for visiting us in your short trip to the United States of America. I know you're going back to Trinidad just in a few days.
Yes.
But before you go,
Mm-hmm.
just let us know, what should we expect from you? What's the next thing that's going to happen for Rooplal in the music industry?
Expect the unexpected. Expect the unexpected.
There's that build-up you were talking about, right?
Expect the unexpected. Because I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Okay.
I don't know what's going to happen when we leave here.
Right.
So expect the unexpected. All I can say is that I anticipate good things.
Okay.
But I don't know.
Well, indeed, I'm sure we're going to be hearing more great music from you. I actually just subscribed to your YouTube page.
Thank you very much.
Right before coming here, I was able to, play all, and you can listen to all of your music, and I enjoyed it.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
And lots of different genre of music there.
Yes.
I heard some of your calypso, your chutney. It was a really good page. So
thank you very much.
I would encourage everyone to go on and look up Rooplal G, and you can subscribe to his YouTube page.
Thanks for the plug.
Well, thank you so much.
But before I go, though, I'd just like to say thanks for having me. And I like to say I have met a lot of wonderful people in this country. A lot of wonderful people who have been there for me over the years. People who have helped me, people who have stood by me, and people who I love dearly. They're people who, they treat you with so much love and respect. So I just want to thank everybody who've been there for me, who stood by me, who have loved me, who have been there for me, who have, whatever you may have done to influence my life. I just want to extend so many thanks. And like I said, the world is full of nice people, wonderful people. And I continue to meet wonderful people wherever I go. So thank you so much for having me. And I feel very privileged and very honored to be on your program.
Oh, well, we're so happy to have you here as well.
Thank you so much. And to everyone looking and listening in, and just keep loving yourself and love each other, and make sure that we could make the world a better place. We could make our world a better place. And one of the key things, one of the key elements in making the world a great place is music.
It's music.
Love good music.
One note at a time.
One note at a time. Yes.
Rooplal, thank you so much for coming on,
Very
and
welcome.
good luck with all of your future endeavors.
Thank you so much for having me.
Savare, 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 savare. Tere bina suni suni hai akhiya, tere bina lamha lamha hai sadiya, sona sona jahan lage re. Savare, 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 savare. Tere bina suni suni hai akhiya, tere bina lamha lamha hai sadiya, sona sona जो नजर आए रे सावरे 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 तेरे बिन सूनी सूनी है अखियां तेरे बिन लम्हा लम्हा है सदियां सुना सुना जा लगे रे सावरे 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 सारे गा 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 परे नि पनि सारे गा 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 परे सारे गा पनि प गा पनि दा पनि दा रे गा पनि दा रे ब गा रे गा रे गा रे पनि दा रे प गा म गा रे गा रे सैयारों से रात भर करते हैं हम गुफ्तगू अरमानों की भीड़ में तेरी ही है जुस्तजू सोनी सोनी से हसरत है कैसे तेरी मोहब्बत है कुछ ना मुझे आए रे
Nanking chain of restaurants serves a large variety of Chinese, Thai, and Indian cuisine, prepared by seasoned chefs and experienced professionals. Check out one of Nanking's newest restaurants at 134-07 Rockaway Boulevard, South Ozone Park, New York. Nanking proudly serves halal meats, vegetarian, non-vegetarian, and seafood delicacies. Nanking Restaurants caters to private and corporate events for all occasions in their restaurants and banquet halls. Nanking Restaurants, a chain of restaurants which are also conveniently located in South Plainfield, New Jersey, Jersey City, New Jersey, Iceland, New Jersey, New York, New York, Atlantic City, New Jersey, New Hyde Park, Long Island, and the grand opening of their newest location at 134-07 Rockaway Boulevard, South Ozone Park, New York. Reserve your table today at 718-323-3555. That's 718-323-3555. For more information, visit nankingrestaurantgroup.com.
2 months ago, after my mother's hospitalization, the doctors wanted to put her on hospice. And I'm like, they deemed her terminal. And I saw Mr. Thakur, I think the founder, on TV, and he was advertising this Indian community in Kings Harbor. It's a great Indian community where my mother feels at home and she expresses her happiness to me whenever I come.
I know when I come, I feel happy. I stay couple and I see everybody, and I'm so happy.
I brought my mother here like a month and a half ago, and I haven't regretted my decision. It's one of the best decisions I've made for my mother. It's a home away from home.
Elegant floral design. We can help you beautify your event. No occasion is too big or too small. We specialize in floral decor and party planning for every event. Please call 718-322-9786. Please use promo code Lakshmee for a discount.
for all your special private and professional occasions. No event is too big or too small. We cover it all. Contact the professional source for all your party or special occasion needs. We have you covered at Star Party Rentals. Call us 516-239-2242. Please mention Let's Talk with Lakshmi for discount pricing.
Getting ready to plan that special day? Well, the most important thing is capturing that special moment. No matter what the occasion is, big or small, Digital Photo by Buddy can capture it all. For all of your memorable events, whether it is a wedding, graduation, anniversary, sweet 16, puja, baby shower, or 9-day, Buddy will do it all. Just call Buddy at 917-741-9876. Digital Photo by Buddy, capturing your memories. Please mention you saw this ad on Let's Talk with Lakshmi.
Rockaway Gold Buyers and Pawn Shop. Gold prices are on the rise. Visit Rockaway Gold Buyers to get the highest price on your jewelry today. Also, ask about our layaway plans. Also, pay all your bills with Payomatic. That's right, pay your phone and cable, Macy's and card payment, mortgage and credit cards, and many more. We also do wire transfers and money orders with Western Union. Need cash? Get a 4-month loan now. Mention code word Lakshmi to receive no interest for the first month on any loan up to $500. Located conveniently on 10705 Rockaway Boulevard. Call and visit us today, 718-480-8343. Rockaway Gold Buyers and Pawn Shop.
When thinking of shipping a barrel, box or sending money back home, think of the name you can trust. Think Laparkan. Laparkan has been serving our community for over 25 years, and a significant portion of every dollar spent at Laparkan goes to work in our community, here and back home. Together, we are making a difference. For your shipping and money transfer needs, call Laparkan. Laparkan, the name we can trust.
Namaste. Welcome to the East Indian Music Academy. Information about the music school, you can visit us on the website www.eima.us. For further information, you can also call 718-738-7836. I hope to see you soon.